Sit. Let us talk. Not as strangers, but as fellow travelers on this curious road we call life. You see, in the quiet wisdom of Buddhist tradition, we often speak not in certainties, but in reflections. We don't declare answers. We invite you to discover them for yourself. And today, I want to speak to you about something seemingly simple, yet profoundly overlooked. The last digit of your birth year. Strange? Perhaps. But in our monastery, we often meditate upon the meanings of the seemingly ordinary. A fallen leaf, a sound in the wind, the pause between your breath. And yes, even the number that ends the year you were born. I want to be clear. This is not numerology in the way the modern world often interprets it. This is not fortune-telling. Rather, it is a mirror, a pattern, a gentle rhythm that echoes a truth about how your soul chose to enter this world. Let me begin with a story. There was once a young novice monk, full of questions, as most of us are when we begin. He came to my teacher one morning. After breakfast, his robe barely tied in his hurry, his eyes wide with the urgency of youth. He said, "Master, why does it matter when I was born? The year? The day? It's all past. I live now." And the master, silent as always, simply pointed to a tree. A tall, ancient Bodhi tree whose roots reached deep into the earth. He said, "Do you see that tree? Do you think it matters when its seed was planted?" The boy frowned. "Yes, I suppose, because that determines when it will bear fruit." "Ah," the master nodded. "And what kind of fruit it bears, and how it bends to the wind, and how deep its roots can reach, just like you." That moment never left me, because what the master was saying was simple. The moment we are born is not random. It's a message, a code, a starting note in the symphony of your life. Now let's begin exploring these final digits, 0 through 9. Each one bearing its own vibration, its own quiet message for the soul who entered the world under its sign. But before we step into the digits themselves, let us pause and reflect. Have you ever felt that certain patterns follow you? That your approach to life has a tone, a mood, a lesson that keeps returning until you learn it? That is what these numbers speak of. And it begins with awareness. Mindfulness. Not just of breath, but of story. Your story. So today, as we walk together through these meanings, I ask you not to believe everything you hear, but to feel. To notice which words echo inside your heart like a bell. Are you ready? Let us begin with those born in a year, ending in. These souls, born at the threshold of a new cycle, carry the essence of beginnings. They are visionaries, often ahead of their time. But with that comes a burden, of isolation, of feeling misunderstood. They come to shake the foundation of what has been, and yet they often doubt their place within it. I once knew a monk who was born in such a year. He never quite fit in, even among monks. While others were content to follow routines, he questioned everything, every bell, every chant, every ritual. At first, the elders were uneasy, but over time his questions led to transformation. He reminded us that tradition should not become a cage, but a door, and only those brave enough to knock can walk through. So if your birth year ends in 0, ask yourself, where? Are you meant to begin anew? What are you being asked to initiate, even if no one before you has tried? You are the voice before the chorus, the flame before the fire, the whisper before the storm. Let's breathe. Pause for ambient sound, soft wind, birds, temple bells. Now, those born with the year ending in 1, these are the pioneers. Much like the number upright and alone, they stand tall in solitude. Their lesson? Learning how to walk their path without needing applause. There is great nobility in their journey, but also great loneliness. You may be one of them, always leading. But tired of leading, strong, but secretly craving someone to lean on. If this is you, the Buddhist way is to soften. To know that leadership is not control, it is presence, and your strength is in your stillness. In the temple, there is a bell that rings every morning before sunrise. No one sees who rings it, no one applauds, but the entire monastery awakens to its sound. That is the power of your spirit. So ask yourself, are you willing to ring your bell, even if no one watches? And now slowly we prepare for the next step. We will move through each number, gently, with reflection. But for now, pause, breathe, again. Inhale. Feel the breath enter your body. Exhale. Release everything you're holding. We have only just begun. Welcome back. You've stayed. And that tells me something about your spirit. You're not just curious, you're searching, and not for entertainment, but for understanding. The kind of understanding that hums quietly behind your ribs when the world goes silent. Let us continue. We have spoken of those born in years ending in 0 and 1, the initiators and the pioneers. Now let's turn the lantern toward those whose birth years end in 2. These are the harmonizers. In Buddhist thought, everything seeks balance, yin and yang. Night and dear traveler, you're still here, and that tells me your heart is not only listening, it is remembering. This is not simply a lesson. This is a homecoming, a return to the forgotten corners of your inner knowing. We have journeyed through the energies of 0 to 5. Now, let us walk together into the deeper digits, the 6, 7, 8, and 9. Each, carrying not just symbolic meaning but also spiritual rhythm, a kind of pulse that you may have always felt beating beneath the surface of your life. Let us begin with the souls born in a year, ending in 6. The number of nurturers, the quiet protectors, the souls who so often carry everyone else's burdens without anyone ever noticing the weight they bear. In Buddhist philosophy, compassion is not an option, it is a way of being, but those born under the vibration of 6 often live compassion to the point of exhaustion. They give, and forget that even the wellspring needs rain. I once knew a nun, born in a year ending in 6. She raised her siblings before she became a monastic. When she came to the monastery, she spent her days caring for the sick, mending robes, sweeping the meditation hall. She was so quiet, many thought she was invisible, until one day she collapsed from sheer exhaustion, and as we gathered around her bed, she looked up and whispered, "I thought love meant giving until I disappeared." That day changed us, and her, because true compassion must include yourself. To the soul of 6, you are not only here to heal others, you are here to be healed too. Let your kindness reach inward. Let your care become a circle, not a straight line. Now, breathe gently and step with me into the world of the 7. The mystics, the seekers of truth, not just external truth, but the kind that lies behind the veil. Those born with the final digit of 7 often feel out of place in the modern world. Not because they are broken, but because they are tuned to frequencies most others do not hear. They question everything. The surface never satisfies them. They are the ones who ask, "Why are we here?" Not once, but every day of their lives. There was a monk in our tradition, born in such a year, who would spend days in silent retreat, not out of pride, but because he felt the noise of the world like a storm inside his bones. One evening, I asked him what he was searching for in all that silence. He looked up at the night sky and said, "I'm not searching. I'm remembering. Every truth I need was born into me. The silence helps me hear it." To the soul of 7, do not be discouraged by the loneliness you sometimes feel. You are not here to fit into the world's mold. You are here to see the space beyond it. Let your solitude become sacred. Let your inner questions lead you not to answers, but to understanding. Now let's flow gently toward the 8. Those born with a year ending in 8 carry the vibration of power, but not the loud, aggressive, kind true power, inner power, They are born to transform themselves, and often the systems around them. The number 8 turned sideways becomes infinity, and this is no coincidence. The soul of 8 often feels caught in cycles, patterns that repeat, lessons that return, until, finally, they break the loop and emerge wiser, grounded, unshakable. I knew a monk once who had suffered deeply before coming to the monastery: loss, betrayal, hardship. When he arrived, he was angry, but underneath that anger was purpose. With time, he became one of our most balanced teachers. Why? Because he understood pain and had transmuted it into peace. To the soul of 8, do not fear the storms that shaped you. They did not come to destroy you. They came to build the inner temple from which your strength now radiates. But be mindful. Your lesson is not control, it is surrender. The strongest tree is the one that knows how to bend with the wind, not break. And now, we arrive at the 9. The end. Yet also, the beginning. Those born in years ending in 9 are the old souls, the ones who often feel like they've lived many lives, even before they could speak. They carry within them a quiet wisdom, a knowing that can't be explained. They are the teachers, the spiritual guides, the ones who see beyond the veil, but often carry deep emotional wounds from lifetimes past. In Buddhist understanding, we speak of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and the soul of 9 often feels the ache of that wheel spinning within them. They long for peace, for completion, for something eternal. I once shared many silent walks with an elderly monk who never preached. He barely spoke, but when he did, his words changed people, not because they were clever, but because they were true. He told me once, some souls are not here to climb. They're here to close circles, to end cycles, to be the last thread that ties the whole cloth together. To the soul of 9, you are not here to rush, you are here to remember. And in remembering, you will show others how to rest, how to forgive, how to let go. So let us pause here and reflect. The 6, the gentle caregivers. The 7, the seekers of higher truth. The 8, the powerful transformers. The 9, the wise closers of cycles. Now, you've heard them all, from 0 through 9, but our journey is not yet complete, because what we have uncovered are not just digits, they are soul blueprints. But now we must explore how these energies interact with your life path, how they influence your relationships, your purpose, and your calling in this human form. That, dear soul, comes next. Welcome back. You've listened. Not just with your ears, but with your soul. You've met the energy of your birth year's final digit, but now we must go deeper. For a single number is not your whole story. It is only the opening bell, the first vibration of a long and sacred chant. And in Buddhism, we are taught to look beyond form, to what is beneath it. So now let us explore. How does your number interact with your journey? What lessons are being asked of you? What parts of your life have been shaped by this hidden frequency? Let me ask you something simple, but powerful. Have you ever wondered why certain themes keep repeating in your life? Not just events, but feelings, people, mistakes, and even miracles? This is no accident. It is energetic design, a soft reminder from your spirit nudging you inward. Let us explore together how these digits echo through the 4 corners of your life. 1. Relationships. Whether friend, partner, parent, or stranger, your birth number influences how you connect. For example, a 2 often becomes the caretaker in a relationship, sometimes forgetting their own needs in the name of keeping peace. A 5 may love deeply, but struggle with staying still, feeling trapped by expectation. A 9 may feel responsible for others' healing, drawing wounded souls into their orbit over and over again. Do you recognize this in yourself? If your relationships feel heavy, ask, am I acting from my number's shadow side, or am I allowing it to shine as light? A 6 in its light is nurturing and warm, but in shadow it becomes overprotective, even controlling. An 8 shines in leadership, but can become obsessed with power or validation. Awareness is liberation. The moment you see the pattern, you're no longer its prisoner. You become its teacher. 2. Life purpose. Your digit whispers to you, especially when the world is silent, not in loud declarations, but in the quiet longings that visit you at night. I ask you, what have you always felt called to do, even if no one else understands it? Some souls of 3 are meant to create art that heals, but they may have been told, be practical. Some 7s are meant to become spiritual mentors, but they've been trained to chase external success instead. Let me tell you of a monk I knew, born in a year ending in 7. He was raised in a strict business household. His family never understood his spiritual nature. But the more he tried to conform, the more ill he became. One day, after a long illness, he sat beneath a tree and said, "I've been running away from my soul's instruction." He left everything, joined the monastery, and found joy not in wealth, but in clarity. Your digit is not your job description. It's your inner compass. It won't tell you where the road leads, but it will point you in the right direction when all signs seem lost. 3. Challenges and repeating cycles now. This is important. Every digit has a lesson it must master. Until it is understood, life will circle around it again and again, just like the wheel of samsara. If your life feels like a loop, pause. Your digit may be showing you something unhealed. A 4, for instance, may attract rigid situations until it learns flexibility. A 1 may face constant resistance until it learns to lead from love, not ego. A 9 may continually lose people they love, because their lesson is letting go with grace, not clinging in fear. So, reflect with me. What keeps returning to your life? What is the digit of your year asking you to embrace, not escape? The moment you welcome the lesson, the cycle begins to unravel, not through effort, but through awareness. 4. Inner peace. Lastly, your digit holds the key to your personal version of inner peace. For some, peace means solitude. For others, it means purpose. For others still, peace is in serving others, holding a child's hand, growing a garden. In Buddhism, peace is not the absence of thought, it is the presence of understanding. So ask yourself, what does peace feel like for me? A 7 may find it in meditation, a 3 may find it in creating, a 2 may feel it when harmony is restored between loved ones, and a 5 may find it not in staying still, but in knowing they are free to choose. You see, peace isn't a place, it is a permission. Remembering, and your digit holds the map. Dear one, you were never just born by chance in a year. You are part of a pattern older than calendars, wiser than clocks, more sacred than any system man has made. This digit. This number at the end of your birth year, it has walked with you your entire life. Silently, softly. But now it wants to speak. And through these reflections, you've begun to listen. But we are not yet finished. Because now we must take all of this understanding and learn how to live it, fully, freely, and with open hands and an open heart. This final journey, it's not about numbers at all. It's about you, your life, your choices, your next step. Let us meet there. In the final page of this conversation, where numbers become soul and insight becomes action. Welcome once more, dear listener. Here we are, not at the end of a journey, but at the beginning of something deeper. You've heard the language of your digit. You've begun to see its reflection in your life, in the people you've loved, the challenges you've met, and the peace you still seek. But now comes the most important part of all. What will you do with this wisdom? Buddhist philosophy teaches us that knowledge is not power. Wisdom, lived, is power. Not memorized, not admired, but embodied. Woven into your walk, your words, your silence, and your service to others. Let us now speak about integration. What does it mean to live in alignment with the number your soul chose? Let me offer you 4 sacred practices, one for each breath of life, to help bring this insight from the mind into the heart. And finally, into your everyday actions. 1. Contemplation. Sit with your pattern. Take a few minutes each day not to think, but to listen. Ask yourself softly, what does my digit need me to remember today? Then just breathe. Allow whatever arises to float gently to the surface. For example, if you're a 3, listen for the desire to express joy and create beauty. If you're an 8, ask yourself, am I using my strength to protect or to control? If you're a 2, gently examine where you're pouring yourself out and forgetting to refill. Truth doesn't arrive in noise. It appears in stillness. Let your birth digit be your silent companion in meditation, not to give you answers, but to guide you toward the questions that heal. 2. Renige. Compassion. Release the self-judgment. So many of us carry guilt for not being far enough, for repeating old mistakes, for not living up to invisible expectations. But I say to you now, you are not behind. You are becoming. Your digit holds not just your strengths, but also your spiritual curriculum. A 4 isn't flawed because they fear instability. They are being called to build inner foundations. A 5 isn't broken because they crave freedom. They are being asked to balance movement with mindfulness. Compassion is not soft. It is the sharpest form of awareness. So, speak gently to yourself. Say, this is where I am. This is what I carry. And it is okay. And from that place of softness, you will rise stronger. 3. Mindfulness. Embody your gift. Each day, the world does not need more clever people. It needs more present people. Each birth digit has a gift that the world is thirsting for. Let yours flow naturally into your daily life. A 1 might bring confidence to a timid room. A 6 might bring warmth where there is coldness. A 7 might ask the question others are too afraid to ask. A 9 might offer closure and peace when no one else can. You do not need to be a monk, a healer, or a sage. You simply need to be awake, aware, and kind in how you carry your soul's rhythm into the world. Let your numbers speak through your hands, through your silence, through the way you treat the person who cannot offer you anything in return. 4. Surrender. Trust the sacred timing of your journey. Now listen carefully, because this is the part the ego resists most. You are not late. You are not early. You are arriving. Right on time. Buddhism teaches that each life unfolds like a lotus. Slowly, sometimes through mud, but always toward light. There are no wrong timelines, only misunderstood seasons. Some digits teach fast, some teach slow, some press, some pull. But all of them lead you back to the same home, your awakened, compassionate self. So if your life feels delayed, if you haven't figured it all out, if you're still healing old pain, that's okay. You are still sacred, still held, still whole. And now, my dear soul, we've walked together from the seed of a digito, the breath of a life. You have come to see that your birth year, a simple number, was never random. It was your soul's signature, a whisper from the universe saying, this is the vibration you'll carry. Now live it well. You are not a statistic. You are a symbol, a sacred spark wrapped in time and flesh. So breathe deeply and choose now to walk in the fullness of your number, to make peace with your story, to honor your patterns, and, most of all, to love yourself as you are, not as who you think you should be. And remember, the number may have been your beginning, but what you do with it, that is entirely up to you. Let us now enter our final reflection, where we will take everything you've learned and shape it into a vow, a vision, a spiritual compass to carry forward, not just for you, but for the ones who walk beside you and those yet to come. Welcome to this sacred conclusion. Not an ending, but a return to yourself, to the rhythm of your breath, to the soft beat of your soul. You have walked this long journey with me, through numbers, through patterns, through mirrors of truth. And in doing so, you've done something most people never dare to do. You've looked within. Now, I ask only this: what will you do with the stillness now in your heart? Because understanding is not meant to sit like stagnant water. It is meant to flow, to heal, to serve. You were born in a certain year, and yes, the final digit of that year does carry a vibration, but that vibration is not a prophecy. It's a tool, a tone in the music of your life. Some will dismiss this message. They will hear a number and think, it's too simple. But those who know. Truth often hides in simplicity, and sometimes the smallest insights open the widest doors. So let me remind you, the power is not in the digit, it's in how you respond to it. A vow to carry forward. Let me offer you a vow, not from me to you, but from you to your own soul. Repeat it softly if it feels true in your heart. From this moment onward, I vow to live awake. I vow to honor the patterns I carry. I vow to love the version of me that I am now, even as I continue to grow. I vow to treat every year I've lived not as wasted, but as woven into the tapestry of my becoming. I vow to bring light where I find shadow, and most of all, I vow to walk gently, with myself and with others. Take a breath. Let this vow settle not in your mind, but in your body. Feel it in your chest. Let it soften your jaw. Let it relax your shoulders. You've held so much for so long. Now, let go. The monk's last story, the hidden number before. We part. I want to leave you with one final story, a true one. Many years ago, I met a woman in the hills of Nepal. She was 93 years old. Her fingers were bent with time, her eyes nearly blind, but her smile was like the first sunrise. She said to me, "People ask me if I have regrets. I say only one. I spent too much time trying to be someone else." I asked her, "When did that change?" She touched her chest and said, "Why?" I found out that the last digit of my birth year was a 6. I read in an old almanac that 6s are nurturers. I realized I wasn't weak for loving deeply. I was strong because of it. She laughed and said, "After that, I stopped apologizing for my softness and started celebrating it." That small shift changed her entire final chapter, and it can change yours too. An invitation to the present, the last digit of your birth year. It led us here, but you must lead the rest of the way. So I invite you to carry this moment forward. Live like your number is a bell ringing through your life, reminding you to be present, to be kind, and to live fully, not one day, but now. Because this moment, right here, right now, is your life, and it's worthy of being lived with your whole heart. Final words, I bow to the sacredness in you, to your pain, to your healing, to your becoming. And if this message touched your heart, share it with someone who may need it, because we are all just walking each other home, one digit, one breath, one step at a time. Now, rise gently. You are not who you were an hour ago. You are deeper, wiser, more awake, and the world is better because you are in it. Thank you for walking this path with me. May you be well. May you be peaceful. May you be free.